Okay, I'm gonna talk about now sixth question: how the realist and liberal theories and international relations differ in their understanding of the state behavior in the international systems, and particularly in terms of the conflict and cooperation. I'll talk about. I'm gonna talk about this: the realism and liberalism in international conflicts, the cooperation contemporary challenges. So the in international relation is shaped by different theoretical perspectives, as we know, that seek to explain how the states behave in the global system. So among these, realism and liberalism dominant schools of the two sort of concentrating the view of the state behavior, power, conflict, and the corporation. So realism grounds in the belief that international politics is the struggle for power, argues that states act in their own self-interest, prioritize security above all. In contrast, liberalism emphasizes the corporation and institution the potential for collective progress, and suggesting that states can work together to achieve the mutual benefits and the stability. Also, when it comes to the realism, the realist, the perspective on the state behavior, the core assumptions of the realism, the human nature is the self-interested and the competitive, and realists argue that human nature is the inherently by self-interest, which extends to states as the primary actors in international politics. The international system is the anarchic. There is no central authority above the states to enforce order, leading to state system of the self-help where states must rely on their own power for survival. So power is the primary goal. States seek to maximize their power to ensure the security and the survival and the requiring the future and the of their international relation. So, and the realist view on the conflicts and the cooperation, realists argue that the realist argues the states are primarily concerned with their own national security and the survival. Cooperation is only possible when it's aligned with the national interest of the states, when they gain the relative advantage over others. And so the example of the realist thinking in practicing the Cold War, such as the Cold War, the United States, the Soviet Union engaged in the power struggle, building military alliance, NATO versus Warsaw Pact to maintain the balance of the power. So USA and China rivalry realists argue that China's economic and military rise challenges USA, their dominance leading to competition and geopolitical tensions, and the Russian invasion of the Ukraine. From the realist perspective, Russian actions are driven by power, politics, security concern rather than international law or moral concentrations. And when it comes to the liberal perspective to state behavior, core assumptions of the liberalism, the human rights is the cable of the corporation, that while self-interest exists, the human beings and the state and cooperate through diplomacy, diplomacy and institution. The international system can be organized, although the anarchy exists. The institution, law, and norms and can help to create the stability. And the economic and political interdependence reduce the conflict, create the international organization, and the diplomacy create the inactives, the four states, the cooperate rather than engaged in conflict. So democracy promotes the peace, and the democracy peace theory that suggests that democratic states are the less likely to go to war with each other. So the liberal view on the conflict of the cooperations. The liberals believe that cooperation is not only possible but necessary for global stability. International organizations such as the UN, the World Trade Organization (WTO), the International Monetary Fund (IMF), they help to mediate the conflicts that promote the economic interdependences and what's up, and liberal thinking in practice. When it comes to liberal in practice, that the European Union, that liberal example of how economic and political integration fosters the peace and stability among the former rival states. The United Nations and the peacekeeping. The liberalism supports the idea that international institutions can mediate the conflicts and to promote the peace, climate agreement, Paris agreements, and so on. Shows how states can come together to address the global issues that requires the cooperation beyond the national interest. So that's all.